Hey, so today I want to come to you guys and talk to you about 10 things that is very, very toxic for women that we need to see in ourselves, make a note of it, and actually do something about it. We have to change this behavior. And I know it's going to raise some triggers with some women. That's fine. But I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you to overcome things that are making you stagnant in life. Now, the first one is being too open. Sometimes us as women, we can be too open with people, and we can tell people too much stuff. That is very toxic, okay? That's a red flag. And it makes people think that we don't have a life. We don't have anyone to talk to. We talk too much. You get what I'm saying? So when you be too open and you tell too much, and it's okay, I want to be real. I want to tell everything I know. No, that's not how it goes. The real thing that you need to focus on is learning how to talk to God. Talk to a psychologist. That's what they get paid for. If you really need to get a lot of things off your chest, not your mama, not your daddy, because everybody else trying to get their life together as well. So they really don't have time to listen to your stories about what you going through, being too open and telling everything you know. That's how rumors get started. We get upset when people be starting rumors, talking smack about us, but who was the person that did the talking? I could see if somebody was talking about you based off of what they seen or what you allowed them to see or whatever in your life. But most of these conversations are being had based off of what you said. You were the originator. So you can't be mad at somebody else for not being able to hold a secret when that was your own secret to hold for yourself. You wasn't even supposed to tell your bestie, your sissy, your nobody. Talk to God or get a psychologist. You get what I'm saying? So, number 9, I feel like it's being toxic. And we be toxic when we accept toxic behavior. It might start with a play fight. It might start with a pity pat here, pity pat there, pity pat, like, and then it turn into a knock upside your head. Or it may turn into something way worse. It may turn into a whole monster of things. Even the talking stuff and calling each other curse words, like in a relationship. Accepting that toxicity and thinking it's cool, like, oh yeah, me and my man in a toxic relationship, that's my man and I'm sticking right beside him. That is very toxic. And ladies, we shouldn't be accepting toxic behavior. We should be growing, healing, because once you heal, that toxicity look like it kind of reminds you of seeing somebody who talking about they got it going on and talking about women and all of that stuff, but you looking at them like, do you got room to talk? Like, but that's what accepting, that's what toxic behavior should look like to you. It shouldn't be about accepting it. So that's number 9. Number 8 is we do too much talking and not enough listening. And it's funny because I like to vent. And I was talking to somebody very, very close to me. And it was funny because I was going through some stuff, like a whole week of stuff. And I was just having this conversation like, hey, woo, all of this happened this week, blah, 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 blah. And the person got mad at me and was like, people need to take the time out and listen more and talk less. And I thought about it and I'm like, wow, I just went on a whole rant to tell everything about me. Yeah, I was going to listen to what that person had to say after I got done ranting, but it made me realize that, maybe somebody else got it worse than me. You know what I mean? And that go back to toxic behavior number 10, which is a red flag for us ladies that I also endorsed in, which was, being too open and talking. Instead of calling a psychologist, I was talking to people that were very, very close to me about it. And maybe it was something that person needed to get off their chest as well. But go back again. We're accepting this because we're not guiding people in the right direction. And it's a difference between really listening to someone and when they're going through their problems versus letting someone pour all their toxic garbage onto you like you're a waste field or a landmine. You get what I'm saying? So that would be for number 8. Okay. Another thing that we needed that it should be a red flag as far as women go. For number 7 would be stop rushing. Like, rushing is a red flag. And I was a big procrastinator. And even when it came down to work, I will rush to go everywhere, rushing traffic, rush to the store. And I'm always rushing other people and think people supposed to move to the beat of my drum because I'm last minute and rushing, or because I'm rushing something because I want it in my time. It's like that commercial when the lady say, it's my money and I want it now. No, that's not how it works. You don't get it now. There's a process. And we live in this microwave society where we can't hardly accept that things may come and processes will have to be done in order to get things that we want. And some things just aren't meant for us, and we have to be okay with that as well. But we can't say we want something and then expect for it to come right away, because 9 times out of 10, you really didn't want it to begin with. Just sit back, wait on it, play on it, pray about it, let it go, move on, keep doing something else in the process. And if it comes to you, then it was meant. But if it doesn't come to you, then it really wasn't meant. But you have to wait on that perfect time. And I could say, as an example, I had prayed and asked for something like really, really big, okay? And it was like, it took a year, literally a year, for this to be answered. But I prayed about it and I let it go. And what I had to do in that time frame was I still had to pay my dues and honor the contracts that I had created until that prayer was answered. Now, once that prayer was answered, I was like, phew, in the clear. So that the minor dues that I had to pay for being in that contract during that time frame was nothing compared to my prayers being answered, which was way further greater. But it took time, and I couldn't rush that process at all, because I didn't even know how it was going to happen, when, where, or whatever. But I just had to know that if I spoke it and it was meant for me, then it was going to happen regardless, one day, okay? So I say that to go into the next one, which is number 6. A lot of times we have mental explosions. Mental explosions, and that ties directly into wanting to rush everything. If things don't go our way, we get an attitude. And it's bad now that people can go into relationships and think that the only way to calm a woman down or to make her feel better is with food. Oh, don't give her a box of chocolates for Valentine's Day. She wants a box of chicken wings. Like, food shouldn't be the answer, and that's toxic. That's a red flag that we as women need to address. Stop being emotionally bullheaded and wanting things when we want, and then having these explosions of thinking like temper tantrums. Okay, we are too grown for temper tantrums. And I know when my grandbaby has a temper tantrum, which she really does, but I would be upset to see her having a temper tantrum, but then I turn around and have one. Like, that just doesn't make sense. We don't want to see kids doing it, and we shouldn't be doing it as adults as well. You get what I'm saying? So, another one, the next one would be number 5, which is we shortchange ourselves, okay? We shortchange ourselves because of fear. And when you have fear in your life, you kind of take the back seat on a lot of things, or you kind of like, oh, I gotta hide. Let me hide my face. I don't want people to know it's me. Or, my haters might say something if they see me. Somebody gonna have something to say. We are too judgmental on ourselves, y'all. We are too harsh, too critical. This is what God has for you to do. Why are you fearful? Like, I know we always fear the unknown. I fear the unknown all the time. But guess what? We still have to walk into what it is that we are supposed to be doing. We cannot allow fear to overtake us. Walk in that fear. If you gotta shake and do whatever you was called to do, like, oh my God, biting your nails, and then you sitting up there, okay, y'all, so practice. Record yourself and practice like that, so when you get in front of whoever you got to get in front of to do whatever you got to do, the fear is no longer there. You're no longer biting nails. If you got to stand up and speak in front of audiences, I remember when I did my first teaching class. This was years ago. I was teaching a class on couponing and teaching people how to extreme coupon and all of that. And somebody came to me and told me, I don't know if they came to me or if I got it off of YouTube University or what have you, but I got a message from somewhere that specifically was like, if you are fearful of speaking in front of audience, I probably got it from Toastmasters because I did go there too. But if you are fearful of speaking in front of people, then you have to look past the people. So as you gaze the room, people, you can be like this, and people think you're looking at them, but you're looking at the back wall, and you're kind of gazing the back wall so that you don't have to see the reactions on people's face. But if you keep that level of confidence up at the same time that you're speaking to the back wall, so to speak, people will still believe in you. Like, I've had people that tried to come challenge me and say, oh, well, I learned this in the classroom, so is it true? Like, they'll just question you just to make sure you know what you're talking about as well. And your level of confidence can still be there in the midst of your fear. Yes, how can I help you? You could say, oh, yes, how can I help you? And then that person was speaking. You're not looking at them. You're looking at the wall, or you're looking past them, so to speak, and you can still answer their question because you still have to be there present and to hear what they have to say or whatever, or when you're teaching a class or speaking in front of people, period. You want to be fully present in the midst of your fear, and you want to be able to answer the questions and hear and understand what's going on. So if that is an issue for you in the speaking realm, that's the advice that I can give. Look past the person. Don't really look at them, just look past them to keep your fear down a little bit, okay? But I'm going to go into number 4, which is being too dependent. Like, we are dependent not just on other people. Oh, we need somebody to do this for us. Oh, can you do this for me? Oh, I need this, I need that. Sometimes we are too dependent on our own happiness, finding it in other people. We can get in a relationship with somebody and people usually say, oh, I just want to be happy. You're supposed to provide your own happiness. You're not supposed to wait for happiness. No man should be giving you happiness. This is what you should be getting on your own, happiness. When you seek and go within, you should be finding happiness. The happiness should be exuding from you because you shouldn't be looking for it in a man. I'm sorry. You should not be, a man shouldn't make you who you are. A man should actually just, he should be like that glitter or charm on your arm piece, like that expensive bracelet. He shouldn't make or break you because you knew you was fly. That bracelet didn't make you have a high level of confidence. You know, it was a mixture of everything, which was the outfit, the mindset, the jewelry, all the jewelry, not just the bracelet, the makeup, the hairdo. So saying that one particular person or type of person, man or female, whoever you are, giving you happiness and depending on them for that, that is absurd. That is really absurd. And it's time to work on that level of dependency from somebody, or, you know, for if they can control you like that, then they should be making you pay their rent in full every single month, because should nobody have that much control over anyone to be that dependent on a person. Now we're going to go to number 3. Number 3 is very, 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 very gonna be touching for some of you peoples, okay? Some of you peoples. I hate when people say that to me, some of you peoples. But sometimes we can have low standards and no boundaries. And when you have low standards and no boundaries, you accept anything from anybody that bring it to you from any direction, you know. And I used to get upset. This lady used to always say, why you can't forgive me as a friend, but you will forgive a nigga. You'll forgive one of them niggas. She wasn't talking to me. She was talking to me about someone else. But the fact that I'm like, well, you ain't their man. I'm thinking to myself, like, but I don't know what to say to that. But I really sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, when you have low standards and no boundaries, I guess it's not a way for you to be able to, yeah. Anyway, raise your standards up. How do you raise your standards up? You have to determine what you like and what you don't like in a person. And just like they tell you to write down the good and the bad you see in a person, if it's more good, you stick with them, and if it's no good, you get rid of them. You need to do the same with your standards. You need to figure out what your standards is. What will I accept? What won't I accept? What am I going to accept? And what I'm not going to accept. And there's certain toxic traits and behavior that you may not know that you don't want to accept, but as you cross that bridge, make sure you write it down and make sure you put it on that list of will or will not accept. Because I tell you, I've been around this world, this earth, for as many years. I came around this world for 22 years on my birthday. Nah, just kidding. But coming around this earth so many times every year to celebrate another birthday, baby, we've been through a lot. And it's still some things that I haven't been through and haven't learned. And I've learned and been through a lot. The more you think you know, the more you don't know. That's just a realization you got to come to. But once you set standards for yourself, then you have boundaries for yourself. If you don't have a standard to say, well, I think we all grown. We can do screw whenever we want to, and whenever the time is right. I'm not rushing nothing. I'm going to just let it flow easily. Now you have no boundaries, because if that man try to take you to his room tonight and then leave you high and dry, get you drunk, take you to his room, screw you, and he don't want to talk to you no more, that's you left holding the bag, wondering why he never called you anymore. Because there has to be some type of boundary set in place. Because if you have boundaries set in place that you respect yourself and you nurture yourself, guess what? That man has to respect them too. But if he don't have anything to respect, guarantee he would not respect you. And that's where number 2 comes in to play with, because we just got to stop being indecisive, period. Being indecisive is letting people know, hey, I don't know what I want for myself. Because one minute I like it hot, one minute I like it cold, next minute I like it in the oven 9 days old or something. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be decisive about what it is you want and stick to it. I think I want some McDonald's. No, I want a McDonald's. I want some wings. Oh, I think I want this type of man. Oh, no, I want that type of man. Being indecisive about everything. And the men know, I don't know what type of nails I want done today. I don't know what my hair. No, you got to know what you want. Don't come to no man talking about you indecisive, because then he going to look at you as toxic. I don't care how petty it is to you. If you indecisive, because when a man make up his mind, it's made up. A man going to that hairdresser, barbershop to get his hair cut, 9 times out of 10 they do a new style, unless it's like a transition from winter to summer or summer to winter, when they want to grow their hair out or whatever and add the little curls or whatever to their hair. But most times they get that same straight cut every 2 weeks, because they know what they want. We don't. We have so many things to choose from. I don't know if I want a ponytail or if I want braids. I don't know if I want an updo or a downdo. You know what I mean? Like, we have to start being decisive, okay? That's a serious red flag. And the last one is, which is the most important one, number 1, we have to stop being judgmental. Stop being judgmental towards others, and stop being judgmental towards self. Because a lot of times there's things that we can find and judge in other people, which is really what we don't like in ourselves. And you can't overlook your faults and your flaws and point out everyone else's. And just the same as if you're vice versa with it, where you don't see flaws in nobody else, but you point out every single flaw in yourself. It just can't work like that. No, baby. It cannot work like that. You have to set a standard for yourself to say, I ain't got time to judge. The only thing I'm judging, if I'm judging myself, is to make myself better and to work on that area. It is not to sit there, look at myself and say, I'm judging, and move on. Or you judging the next person and you don't have a solution for it. Why judge if you're not going to have a solution? So those are the top 10 things that I feel are red flags that we need to work on. And we definitely need to work on them, ladies. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's start working on them. And maybe we can have more success in our lives instead of hindrances and stagnation, okay? So I love you all. Until next time, let's grow.